Hey everybody, it's Mitch. Today we're going to work on a quick project. This is something that I've had on the books for quite some period of time, and it's a way to store some souvenirs that I have, which are casino chips. Several years ago, I started a thing that my ex-roommate Bruce was doing, which was basically every casino that I played blackjack in, I'd take one of the chips and I would just save them, and they're pretty. They're kind of decorative and things like that. I thought it'd be pretty cool to put them on a display and put them in a shadow box. So that's what we're going to do today.
So here is my original prototype that I did. This is like literally months ago. Just haven't made a video on it. A little bit different shape because, like I said, I'm going to fit it into a thing. So I was just trying to figure out what kind of material do I want. And what I was originally going to do was just take a piece of plywood and put a veneer over it. I've got several different kinds of exotic veneer. It looks really pretty. I'm like, well, I'll just do that. Well, that way, I could easily just do something. This is the rosewood MDF core that's available from xTool. That's what these would look like on that. That works too. I have also some walnut. If I put a finish on it, it'll make it darker, but that would also look pretty nice. And then as I was preparing to put this video together, I realized that what would look really cool instead is how about pretty much any table game. And so what I did here is I just took a piece of 3mm plywood, glued the felt to it, and then we're going to actually cut this out. So that's what we're going to do. So I think that is going to be my thing. Now, since I put the felt on it, it is going to be thicker than normal, actually twice as thick or close. This is, again, 3mm, and this is about 1.5 millimeters. So we're just going to have to account for that later on, not in the cutting per se, but in everything else. So we're probably going to have to put some kind of block in here. Probably I'll just cut the circles out and I'll just stick them up there with another thinner material so that just basically it has somewhere to push the chip up so it doesn't fall past the felt there. So let's get this in the laser and go back to the computer and make it go.
So what I have here is a rectangle, and this is going to be several different canvases because we're going to have to make it out of several different layers, and it's going to be inside of an 8x10 shadow box frame. So the width is going to be 203.2 millimeters, that's 8 inches, and the height is going to be 254 millimeters, which is 10 inches. So this is going to be the frame we're going to be working on. So got that done, and now what I need to do is I need to create an array of circles that I'm going to use to put the actual poker chips in. So I'm going to go to my circle and make it about that big. It actually needs to be 40 millimeters. And how I came up with that is just literally by measuring. You wouldn't believe it, but poker chips are not all the same. And the size ranged from something like 37 to 38 millimeters to 39 millimeters, 39.2 or 0.4 or something like that. So by putting it at 40, we have the ability to kind of keep everything in the same thing without having very specialized holes for each one. So I am going to set that to cut, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this with an array, and we're going to use the grid array. I want 3 columns and I want 5 rows. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the spacing out, and you can move these boxes, this dialog, by the way. I'm moving the spacing out to where it looks good. So something like that, and make it go down a little bit. That will give us 15 per box, which happens to be exactly the number I have. And so that looks pretty good to me. Now it's going to create those, and luckily it grouped them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this group. It's already selected. I'm going to select the box. Then I'm going to go to the alignment tool and center it. And that is pretty much it. So we've got our box is set to cut. We got that set to cut. I am going to choose 3mm basswood plywood, which is what we have. And then it is on a triangular prism. And I just need to go and connect to my laser. I need to turn it on first, connect to it, and then we'll get this cut out. And that's where some of the special stuff will start. So I'll be right back. Okay, we're back at the computer, so I am going to connect to my X1, or my M1, not the X1, I'm going to connect. Okay, so everything's connected and we have our material in there. I am going to select everything. And then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees to get it horizontal, and that way it'll fit. We have plenty of space on this, so that is that. I think that looks good. Yep, should be fine. It kind of hangs off on the left hand side there because I did not exactly center it there. Okay, so just going to check. So that is set to cut. I'm at 106. That is cut at 106. Now, a couple things you're probably like freaking out, like how are you going to cut that without burning it up? My previous testing on this material, slightly different variations, showed no burning whatsoever, even though I did kind of hover over it with the fire extinguisher. So everything should go through it, and it basically, the laser cut it like it wasn't even there. So I'm not changing any of the normal settings that you would change whenever you're cutting 3mm basswood plywood. So everything seems to work exactly the same. So I'm going to process this. It says 2 minutes, and then that is it. So I'll hit the go button, on the laser, and then I'll be back in a minute.
Alrighty, so these are cut out. They look beautiful, I think. Looks like that. And like I said, I'm going to put a little spacer. This is just a mat board like you use for picture framing. I'm just going to put one of those under there, and then that way they just stand up a little bit, make them actually level with the felt itself. And to support that, what I'm going to need to do is glue on this backer board I cut. So I just basically just cut that out just like that. So let's put some glue on it. This is just Starbond thick glue. I think I need it everywhere, but I'm going to put it enough. Good there. And the question is, do I put that blue side up or white side up? Which is the least distractful if you can see it? Because some of these are small. Okay, that's the small one. Stuck in there. There you go. Let's try it with the white and see what happens. I don't think it matters. I don't think I'll do the blue. Blue side out, it wins. Okay, so a dollop of glue in each one. And these are cut out exactly the same size as these cutouts, and they fit because of the laser curve. Okay, those are all done. And what I'm going to do is just arrange these, and probably what I'll do is to keep them from actually falling out, I'm probably going to end up just double stick tape. This is just some Scotch double stick tape, and I'll put that on the back. and arrange these however I think they look the prettiest, and then I'll be done. Okay, so I've got these in here, and that's what they look like. Looks nice. So what I ran into an issue, so this type of shadow box, there is a frame that goes on the inside that gives you the depth there. Unfortunately, we have 6 millimeters of plywood plus the felt, so that's a 7.5 millimeters of space there that basically makes it stick up too far. So when we put the back on, we can't secure the clips. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna try to jury rig this. I'm just gonna pull this apart. It's just got some pin nails in there. So I'm gonna pull that apart. And then I'm just gonna put it in here manually like this. I may have to work on it a bit and cut it some to make it fit. But what we'll do is just do it like that. Yeah, that's what I'll do. These down. This is just MDF is all this is, so it's not a big deal. Oh, quite. There. That, and now I have them for all my put the tabs down. And there we go. Now I've got some dust and stuff in there I've got to get out, otherwise it will drive me insane to keep looking at this and realizing the dirt's in the inside. That's pretty much it. I'll put it on the wall and I'll be done. Thanks.